What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. And Joshua, we got ourselves a game. Pittsburgh is still in the playoff hunt,
Absolutely.
and the Baltimore Ravens are starting a legendary quarterback, the favorite, the fan favorite, the beloved, the perfect, the can't ever disrespect, or people will get too mad, Mr. Tyler Huntley. How you feeling coming into this game?
Man, first of all, before we even get too deep into it, man, Charlie Kolar is active, man. David Ojabo's inactive, man. It's a hell of a time to be a Ravens fan. Um, let's start it off with that. Patriots pull out the win against Miami. So now the Steelers have a chance to get into the playoffs. This reminds me of 2018. I believe that win that they got against us in 2018 when Joe Flacco was at the helm was also a game that could have stopped them from getting into the playoffs or not, and they end up coming out victorious against us. So it gives that atmosphere and vibe once again. It's going to come down to the wire, and hopefully, if Greg Roman and John Harbaugh has a brain that they might have to put together, and when it comes to certain passing plays, maybe we put in Mr. Anthony Brown that got put onto the 53-man roster. I'm just saying. We do need a guy that can get the ball down the field. We do need to stretch the field because Mike Tomlin and company will be ready for our run game. So we can't just rely on that heavily. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited that they put the AFC North rivalry, one of the best rivalries in the NFL history, on primetime. The only thing is, we don't have the Ravens team that puts us at ease, that we can that we know that they'll get a guaranteed win. It's the new year. You got to start the new year off right. And what better way to do it with a Ravens versus Steelers game on the prime time?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where obviously if Lamar Jackson was playing, it would be so much more fun because I believe the last time Lamar Jackson played against the Steelers in prime time was the game where it came down to the wire and Willie Snead dropped a pass in the end zone, to end the game. I believe that was a primetime game against the Steelers. I may be wrong on that, but I think it was. Steelers Ravens is always fun in primetime. They're most of the great moments in this rivalry's history. My favorite moment of all time being the Torrey Smith game winner.
Yep.
They've come in these primetime games. And I think this is a time that the Ravens get to show the NFL what they're about because they have been talked about in such a negative way by media and talking about, their defense just can't really do anything. These weapons, they can't really do anything. And I don't think these weapons are great. I think the defense is very good. I think they should be the second best defense in the NFL. But this is a game where people are actually going to be forced to watch the Baltimore Ravens. And they're going to notice J.K. Dobbins. They're going to notice Mark Andrews. They're going to notice the tight end trio, really. Andrews, likely, soon to be super legend, Charlie Kolar. Get them to be noticed and have Roquan Smith play to the level that we all know that he can, because that is how we won against the Steelers last time. It wasn't the offense. It wasn't Anthony Brown. It was going out there and he was forcing turnovers. And we sacked Kenny Pickett, took him out of the game. I believe it was a clean, don't play dirty, but play physical. You want to hit them hard. You want to make sure that they feel that you are playing them. And when both quarterbacks get injured for both teams and you play each other again in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it is, I think it was 2 weeks ago, This is going to be a physical game. I think it's going to be more physical than the first, and it's in primetime, and everybody's going to watch, and everybody's going to watch this game and be like, okay, this is old school. This is old school football right here. And a lot of people are going to get really excited to watch the Ravens and Steelers in future games.
I mean, it got to be old school. I mean, like I said, there's a lot on the line, man. Seriously, Mike Tomlin may be getting the damn Steelers back into the playoffs, and we move to the 6th seed. Like, how crazy does it sound right now? I mean, bad enough we're still in playoff contention without Lamar Jackson, so I mean that's a plus. But and it's always been between either the Steelers game or Cincinnati Bengals game that that can either hurt us or break us. And they always came around to the end of the year. I remember with the Lee. I remember it was the game with the Lee Evans drop. I believe that was one game against. I think that was because Cincinnati. 1 year. I got to double check. Raven, Flock family help me out. it's definitely going to be high intensity. We saw what defense could do to rookie quarterbacks, and Kenny Pickett, he got his welcome to the NFL when he played against us. Mitchell Trubisky, I know guys were rooting for him. He could have had a rejuvenance here at Pittsburgh, but it's been kind of up and down. I definitely believe that they needed had better coverage against NFL Youngboy and company because it's going to be a long day for Marlon tonight. Him in that battle against George Pickens is going to be one to see, and it's going to be it's going to be very brutal because George Pickens is going to get the best of him. Marlon's going to get the best of him. But like you said, McConnell, it's really going to come down to whose defense wants it more. Because I've said it many times, they have some of the arguably best talent on their defense side of the ball with TJ, Devin Bush, and Minka Fitzpatrick. And with TJ Watt, we all see what happened when he's in the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Ravens offense definitely had to come down, wear those defensive guys down, make sure they got their hands on their hip, and they got to score. They got to score. We can't take no. We can be risky early, but when it comes down to it, when we really need the points, you got to go for it, John. So, John, I know you're probably giving the guys the best damn speech right now. You probably consoled your brother Jim after they blew it against TCU the other day. But God damn it, we need you to put your thinking cap on tonight and get all the damn points, whether it's a 3, a 2 with a safety, or even a block field goal, whatever the case may be. Get all the damn points. We can't leave no points off the board tonight. And I think we constantly keep on saying that. And John Harbaugh and company keeps on letting us down, McConnell.
It does. And I thought it was really funny, a few things that happened in college bowl games. First off, University of Maryland. I believe it was first drive. They drive down to the goal line. Yeah. They get that ball to the 3 or the 1 yard line. They're like, we're going for it on 4th and goal. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no, this is a bad decision right here. And they totally failed that play. It did not work out. They failed. I think I tweeted out, I said, oh, no, a Maryland football team failed to convert on 4th and goal. I'm shocked. Then we saw Mr. Jim Harbaugh and their execution on, goal-to-go situations. And it just looked terrible. And I was watching that game, and I was like, man, this looks familiar. The lack of execution. The fact that they ran a Philly special or whatever. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Why is that your 4th and goal play? And I'm like, dude, you are so bad. Like, these play calls are so bad. And it just made me think of John right there. And I was watching that, and I was like, that's probably a Mama Harbs call. Like, Mama Harbs loves that play. Yeah. She was watching practice. She was like, oh, you better run that.
Yeah. But you know what? Shout out to Deontay Demas and Raheem Jarrett. I think both of them declaring for NFL draft. If those guys slip to the 3rd round, because Johnston would not be there in the 3rd round for us. So, you gotta look at some other talent.
I thought it was pretty funny because people are tweeting about Johnston. And I tweeted out, and I was like, yeah, the Ravens are not getting Johnston. I think he's probably going to go top 10. He's definitely going top 15.
Yo, when last time you heard of a TCU guy going, like, really making a splash? Last guy was Andy Dalton, I think.
I don't know. Ardarius Washington be making a lot of splash. I'm just kidding. Trayvon Merrick's not playing too bad. But yeah, Andy Dalton. Oh, I feel like there's been somebody else. Hold on. Now I got to look it up. TCU players in NFL. I feel like they have somebody, like maybe like a corner or something like that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, they got Jalen Reagor.
Okay.
Not good. Yeah, it looks like, Kavontae Turpin, returner for the Cowboys. He's a decent return man. But yeah, it looks like it is Andy Dalton's last decent player out of there. Jerry Hughes as well, but I don't know who came into the league first between Jerry Hughes. They're both old veterans. And Spooky J, Ardarius was a dog according to PFF. He was just really undersized, and he was the number 2 safety in that system. And I feel like he's played well when he's gotten on the field. I gotta say, like when Ardarius Washington has played, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But LT's
came
farther back. That was before Andy.
Yeah. I'm just recent.
Yeah. We could bring up other guys. Sammy Baugh. But thinking more. more widespread. But just a lot of players that in this draft, I'm very excited to scout. But I think we've seen some really good players, just in these college football playoffs, and I'm like, okay, we could 100% draft this guy and have him be an impact player. Does Max Duggan get drafted? I think Max Duggan could get drafted, but not early. 6th, 7th round backup type of player. You compare him to a guy like Brock Purdy coming out of college, where it's like, okay, this is a guy that can make a little bit of plays.
Mm-hmm.
And 6th and 7th round picks are typically, especially on quarterbacks, are because they don't want them to be able to choose in free agency, undrafted free agency, where they want to go. And so you use that 7th. Like, that's why we got Trace McSorley. It wasn't because it was like Trace McSorley's worth a 6th round pick or 7th, wherever we got him. It was like, hey, we kind of like this guy. Let's not let him have that decision, have him come be our backup. Brock Purdy was the same thing. Kyle Shanahan saw him and was like, you know what? We'll use our last pick on him because we don't want to have him have a choice. Because if Brock Purdy had a choice, he's not going to San Francisco. You know why? Because they have a young number 2 or 3 overall pick. And he was the number 3 pick at quarterback. Like he's not choosing to go there. Ended up working out. But there's just, it's not worth it for those picks. So like the late round picks are trying to get that priority. Now, sometimes the Ravens are great with the late round picks, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to get ourselves a fullback."
Yeah, I just don't think Max is going to be that one. If anything, the best quarterback that played, in my opinion, in that college football playoffs is C.J. Stroud.
Oh my gosh, that was the best game C.J. Stroud's ever played.
Yo, 4 tutties and 320,
and he looked coming into it. The criticism on C.J. Stroud in scouting, and I haven't fully scouted CJ Stroud. I've watched some games and I've kind of looked at it as like, okay, do I want him or Bryce Young? And I've watched him a little bit, not in the scouting. I'll be making videos on that on TikTok and stuff. But I watched that game and I was like, wow. Because the questions I had was, okay, he's great from a clean pocket. He's very accurate.
Yeah.
How does he do under pressure? How does he do in tough situations? And he was money. He had great pocket awareness. He was moving out of the pocket. He was hitting guys. He looked fantastic. He looked like he should absolutely be the number 1 pick. I think there were a little bit of questions going in. Hey, do you go Will Anderson at edge? Maybe you like Bryce Young at 1. I think coming out of that game, 100%. Lloyd, unfortunately, no. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I was like, is he talking about Marvin or Jackson? Because Jackson definitely is available. He opted out this game. So, yeah, he'll be available for sure.
Here, available wide receivers for our first 2 picks. Maybe it really depends because the wide receivers, there's a lot of people with different takes on them. I think number 1 is Quentin Johnston, and then Jackson Smith, and then Addison. I think that's typically the top 3. I don't think any of those players will be available. Addison has a chance to be available for the Ravens, and we'll see how he does in the 40 and stuff like that. But I think if the Ravens are getting a wide receiver, it's probably not going to be a first round guy.
And let's be honest, before we even get into draft talk, we had to see how the first situation during the offseason plays out, and that's with Lamar Jackson and contract solidifications. So yeah, we'll have to start with that first before we do a deep dive. But the Raheem Jarrett or Deontay Demas would be they would be my sleeper picks for the 3rd round.
Yeah, I like a guy like Rashee Rice out of SMU. I haven't watched a ton of him, but I know he's got some really good ball skills, and he could be decent.
You know what? My slot guy out of SMU, whose last name is Merlin. he's like 6'3", 6'4".
Ooh. But, we're just also kind of waiting for guys to declare for the draft because there's some guys that have the option and things like that. But, I think corner's probably the way to go. I think there's a lot more high-end corners that could be available to the Ravens. Not a guy like, Ringo, obviously is going to be taken. But, I got to watch Witherspoon to Clark Phillips to Cam Smith. I've seen some Christian Gonzalez. He's great. Corner out of Oregon. Got to watch him a little bit more. Interesting. Looks like Max Melton out of Rutgers. I wonder if I would assume he's the brother of Bo Melton, who went to Rutgers as a wide receiver kick return specialist. I think he's playing with the Seahawks right now. I really like Bo Melton as a kick return specialist, but Max Melton is a high-end corner prospect.
Bo went crazy.
I loved Bo. But like right now, just looking on Tankathon, let's see.
What was another sleeper pick at corner? JPJ, Joey Porter Jr. He's not a big interception guy, but he is one of those guys that's strap up, break up the pass. He reminds you of Richard Sherman. And I feel like he could possibly work in our defense.
I like it. I'm with it. There's a lot of guys that we can definitely go after. But in terms of this game,
yeah,
Joshua, I think we got to do it. We've been
hot take.
We haven't been hitting recently. Well, let's go with some hot takes. What are you thinking on offense,
bro? I'm still going to call it. I got Snoop going Willie Beeman. Matter of fact, I take that back. And I'm not wishing, and before I say it, I'm not wishing bad on anybody. I'm not wishing death on anybody. I do feel like Devin Bush or TJ Watt or anyone on their defense put Tyler Huntley out of the game, and Anthony Brown comes in, throws 280 yards, and throws 3 touchdowns. That's my bold prediction.
I like it. I'm with it. I think first off, we got to start off. Joshua, first off, everyone in the chat, let's give him a nickname. I think he needs one. He's making his debut. Charlie Kolar needs a nickname. Because we've been giving the nicknames to the tight ends, or they have one, right? The Gorilla came in with one.
Yeah.
The Weapon, Josh Oliver.
Yeah.
That was coined the day we traded for him.
Do we let Void help us out?
Oh, Void's nice with it. Void is insulting with the nicknames, but he's kind of nice with it. Let's see. Charlie Kolar.
He's an Iowa State guy.
Popsicle is hilarious. Wow. I don't know why it would be Popsicle, but I'm with Popsicle. I kind of like Popsicle.
Let's go with it.
Guys, let's go there. No, I like Popsicle. I'm riding with Popsicle. Popsicle's a great nickname.
Who we ride with until he shows further?
Yeah, Popsicle, 1 touchdown.
I like that. I can see that.
I'm riding with Popsicle.
All right, talk to me about defense. What we got going on?
Defensive side of the ball. Roquan Smith, I think, is going to ball out. But I think someone's going to ball out even farther, and people are going to realize that this guy is special. And not just special and like, oh, he could be a great player. No, this guy is a great player. This guy is going to be the leader of the Baltimore Ravens defense for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Mr. Kyle Hamilton.
God damn it.
Mr. Kyle Hamilton makes his mark tonight, gets himself a touchdown on a pick 6, and gets a sack.
Yo, I was gonna say get a pick 6. I feel like for some reason I feel like he does. He's in the right place, right time on some Geno Stone type time. You either pick off Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky tonight, but if Pepe Williams is out there tonight, I see him solidifying himself as well in this league and getting 2 picks tonight, because this is an audition for him as well. We got to think about it. If Marcus Peters is not brought back during the offseason, I feel like Pepe Williams, who does have a lot of experience playing on the outside, this will be an audition for him tonight to play, to really show what he's worth. We've seen what he's done in the preseason. We've seen a little bit of nickel. We know he's not scared to tackle. And he's been there for interceptions. He just hasn't brought it in. I feel like tonight he brings it in and change the tide for us.
I like it. I like Pepe Williams. And I think Pepe is playing. I didn't see him on the injury report.
Yeah, me neither.
For this game, so I'm going to assume he is. And sorry, everyone, I'm trying to make a hype tweet for Mr. Kolar.
Well, while you're making the hype tweet for him, family, while y'all are in the chat, make sure y'all wish the man, the legend, McConnell, today. If it wasn't for McConnell, we wouldn't have TTB. And I'm thankful that we've been riding this thing out. We've been going 2 years strong. We're gonna keep on doing this thing, and I'm thankful, man. And let's try to get a damn W tonight, y'all.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's all we need. I don't care if we play well.
Let's get this man a good birthday gift.
That's all I'm asking for right now. That's right there. Let's get ourselves a win. And I finally got this tweet out. The image wasn't loading. And also, Happy New Year's to everyone. But I want to make one more prediction.
What you got? What you got?
There's been a lot of slander on this man's name, and I feel like this could be the game that people are like, "Oh wait, never mind, we were wrong." Because I feel like
somebody that finally comes awake, that wakes up.
I think so. I think we are going to talk about that man. The man who last week had an unfortunate play. I'm going to call it unfortunate. You could call him an IHOP pancake house, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Odafe Oweh did not perform very well. But you know when Odafe performs best? Prime time. That's when he has his best career plays, has all been in prime time. And I think we get the game that we have been waiting for. 2 sacks.
Yeah.
1 strip sack that he picks up, takes it 70 yards for a touchdown.
I like that. I mean, when the last time he came alive?
Mike Daniels. You might have to do him like that.
Oh, wow. Wow, bro. BD, that's terrible. Come on, baby. Come on, man. Come on. God damn. Boy. You know what? I love it, man. I love it. I definitely feel like, Odafe, he needs that push. He helps us out in this playoff run. So
he needs to get that momentum going now.
Exactly. He's been getting up the field. I give him that.
Yeah.
I give him that. He just ain't been. This ain't Penn State no more. This ain't Penn State. This the NFL. You have to make your name known. And his running mate over there in Dallas been doing the damn thing since he got into the league.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming through. I don't think we're going to be able to have a post game unless Joshua, if you want to do a post game stream. The game's going to end really late, and I got to get to bed. So I probably, unless something crazy happens, it'll probably, if the Ravens have some crazy comeback or something like that, but probably do a live stream at some point this week. But it's just going to be really tough because it's late. I stayed up late last night. Last night was New Year's, and I live on the West Coast, so New Year's isn't until like 3 a.m.
Right.
But everyone, let's get ready. Spooky J, this is too funny. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content, and hopefully the next time we see you guys, Ravens will be at that 11-win mark.